These are the men and women of Beaver Valley, the bravest of the brave. They fought fearlessly for their country, their city, their community, and for the ideals we share as Americans. They served proudly in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Here now are their stories, their own experiences in their own words, the words of the heroes of Beaver Valley.
The Korean War began on June 20th, 1950, when the North Korea People's Army moved across the 38th parallel, a boundary that separated the Soviet-supported North from the pro-Western South. In support of the South Koreans, the United States of America sent troops to fight against the invading communists. The Americans' push into Korea began at Incheon and stretched to the Yalu River before they were confronted by Chinese troops. The war reached a stalemate at the 38th parallel. After 3 years of battle, an armistice was signed on July 27, 1953. The fighting stopped and a 2-mile demilitarized zone, still in existence today, remained. Beaver County native William Miracle was one of the Marines supporting the American effort. Having fought and won in World War II, Miracle and his division were on Neville Island when they were called back to duty in 1950.
In World War II, all I did was drive truck and Jeep, but then when I went over to Korea, it was a different war altogether.
The Marine Corps would leave behind the amphibious landings of World War II and start the hand-to-hand close combat of Korea. Miracle found and drove supplies to his fellow Marines.
My main thing we got over in Korea was the ammunition. Any time that they would need ammo or water or food, they knew I could scrounge it up. Any material that was on the road, if I passed it and nobody was in it, it belonged to the Marine Corps.
Some Marines found humor in his last name and his ability to locate scarce supplies.
In fact, a lot of them didn't even know that was my last name. They said if they wanted something, go see Miracle. He'll get it or he'll do it. Any type of ammunition, if it was around, I would get it for them. They had a 20 millimeter gun there, and they come up and they said they needed ammo for that. And they said they've tried everywhere to get the ammo. So I went down the docks and I got I think I only got 3 rounds, but they were big about that. And then I brought them back up. The guy if I brought up 100, they was tickled to death, you know.
Adding to the difficulty of the war were the extreme weather conditions.
The further north we get, the colder we got. And so we got up to the Chosun Reservoir. That's 25 degrees below zero to 35 below. Cold weather come in and it just froze everything up. You couldn't stay warm. That's not 25 degrees below zero.
Miracle's ability to find useful items helped him counter the extreme cold. He recalls discovering a barn lantern with fuel still in it.
But I could take that light out and put it in my Jeep, put it between my legs and lit it real low, and it would dry my clothes out. And the rest of the guys, their stuff was frozen. But you learn to keep the different parts of your body warm, you know.
Delivering ammunition and supplies to troops did not come without its own risks.
They called for ammo one night, and they had a little fire built. It wasn't very big. And the guys were cooking rations, and they were all BSing. Well, someone had some higher ground than from where we were at, and here that guy opened up on us with one of those burp guns of Thompson, and you could hear those shells hitting the trees, and everybody hit the deck. Nobody was hit, so it just wasn't our turn to go.
In both World War II and the Korean War, despite the danger, Miracle volunteered to drive supplies.
That kept me busy. A lot of guys, they didn't want to do nothing but stay in the back. I said, well, that's a good place to get hurt. And any time they called for ammo, someone didn't want to take it. Well, I said, well, I'll take a run for a couple Cokes, because I was only 17. I wasn't drinking then, you know.
Looking back at his experience, Miracle is happy he served, especially with the Marines.
The Marines all stuck together. They were always there to help one another. I mean, if you had trouble, you would be glad to help.